you know, for those women who are lost in the moment of, I am happy, you know, to be pregnant. It's supposed to be an exciting experience, but not everybody is happy for me. Middle fingers up, put them to the sky, wave them in their face, and tell them bye. Period. What's up, Big Boss babes? It's your girl, Big Boss Andreya, and I'm back with another video. I got so much great and positive feedback on my last video, single and pregnant, on how to co-parent before the baby gets here, that I wanted to follow up with another video based on the comments and the messages that I received from people who learned a lot from the video and got a lot out of the video, as well as some feedback about, you know, it's emotionally harder than they thought, or, you know, this is why they would have an abortion, or whatever the case may be. I got a wide range of feedback, but most of it was positive. So I wanted to follow up because I know that every woman is different, every situation is different. It's not easy by a long shot. And so I just wanted to come back and give you guys more and answer questions that I received on, you know, what's the real ins and outs on how to deal with it on a day-to-day basis, how to deal with it emotionally and physically and financially and mentally. Those things are real, very, very real. And I'm not going to say that they're easy. It is an emotional roller coaster sometimes. So if you're into all that, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I appreciate all my new subscribers. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys so much for sharing your feedback. Give this video a thumbs up if you want to see more content like this, and stay tuned for more, guys. All right, y'all, so I am officially I wanted to get a little more comfortable, but I am officially 38 weeks pregnant. I have 2 more weeks to go. Baby Parker is moving and grooving in there, and I'm so excited for my baby to come. I'm so excited to see her face. I'm doing a home birth, and I will be doing another video on why I chose to do a home birth and what the process looks like for those who don't realize they have that option, but that's for another video. Stay tuned for that, guys. But I did, this time I did take the time to write out some notes on my phone about this process. No matter where you are in your process, if you're in your first trimester, second or third trimester, being single and pregnant and dealing with a man who, no matter if he wants to be present in the child's life, just doesn't want to be in a relationship with you, which is completely fine, and or you are dealing with a man who doesn't want anything to do with you or the baby, which, hey, life goes on. So that's why I wanted to make this video, and that's why I wrote out some notes in no particular order, but I just wanted to make sure I hit on a couple points. So here we go. And we're also going to talk about the good and the positive ways to keep yourself mentally and emotionally balanced, but I also want to talk about the dark side, the depression, the thoughts of abortion, the contemplation of, you know, what your life is going to be like. So definitely stay tuned for that. I'm going to talk about that closer towards the end, because since my journey was to keep my baby, that's what I most closely resonate with. But I do understand that there are women who do decide to get rid of their children or think about it, or, you know, even it's really real to even be 6 months pregnant and think, did I make the right decision? So we're going to talk about that later in the video, but for now I want to talk about you know, keeping healthy thoughts, emotions, and boundaries. Those are the top 3 things I want to talk about: healthy thoughts, healthy emotions, and healthy boundaries. And the first thing I want to say is know that they are yours. Your thoughts, your emotions, and your boundaries are yours. You cannot inflict your emotion or your thoughts on anybody else. You know, all you can do is create boundaries for yourself to say, okay, this is what I'm willing to deal with, this is not. This is what I'm happy with. This is not. This is how I'm gonna. This is what I need to do for myself to make myself healthy. This is what I need to do to balance my emotions. If he doesn't feel excited, if he doesn't feel, you know, what I feel, then I can't make nobody else feel that way. I can't make my mom feel excited, or I can't make nobody else believe that this is the right decision for me. So know that your thoughts, your emotions, and your boundaries are yours. Own them. Like, that's the very, very first thing that I had to do when deciding to have a child, was think, okay, is this the right decision for me? Not anybody else. I don't care what anybody else is going to think about it. Is this the right? Am I financially stable? Am I emotionally stable? Am I, you know, for the places that I do have insecurities, am I able to build, like, strengthen those areas? It has to be an emotionally sound decision that's right for you. Having your baby is for you. Doing this, being pregnant, and the 9-month process is yours. It does not matter what anybody else think about it. Now, great, it is awesome if you have support, if you have encouragement, if you have all of those things. But if you don't, you still got to own it. You still got to own who you are and your decision, whether it's to keep it or to get rid of it. You have to own that decision. So don't try to put, not say it like that, try not to put your thoughts and your feelings and emotions on people in a way where it becomes their decision, or you're so influenced by their opinions. Got it? The next thing I wanted to talk about is decide what kind of single mother you want to be. Listen, I personally, and I only can share from my experience and my perspective, personally, I'm a very independent woman. I haven't had a real boyfriend since college. I've dated, but, you know, I've always dated a little selfishly because I knew what I wanted for my life. I knew that I wanted to figure out who Andrea was before I added a man to that. So I'm not necessarily the relationship type, which gives me a bit of an advantage over someone who may have thought they were in love with this man, or thought that this man would be something that he turned out not to be. But at the end of the day, when I realized, okay, well, I'm pregnant and I'm not in a relationship, what kind of woman do I want to be, and what kind of mother do I want to be? And I knew I wanted to continue to be strong. I wanted to continue to be independent if that's what I had to do. And I wanted to continue to make the right decisions for me. So whatever that looks like for you, what kind of mother you want to be, as long as you're showing up for your child, you are doing the best that you can do. Don't think that, you know, we can beat ourselves up so often with negative thoughts on what could go wrong, what's not right, what's not. But you have time to figure your ish out. And nothing will motivate you more, or should motivate you more, than having a growing child inside of you saying, okay, I gotta make something shake for my baby. When I first got pregnant, and I braid hair, and I have multiple hustles, but then I decided to go to real estate school. And I went to real estate school and I finished in 6 weeks. And because I knew I wanted to continue to be an entrepreneur and to be a boss, but I know always hustling from different ways is not the steadiest income per se. But, you know, I did what I had to do. And so I still haven't finished, I still haven't taken my real estate exam. It's neither here nor there. But I have finished the schooling so I can take it whenever I'm ready. But nonetheless, think about, okay, well, this is where I'm at now. Where do I want to be? Create a plan. Mentally, write it down, share it with somebody, and hold yourself accountable to say, okay, well, I got 9 months till my baby gets here. I got 6 months. Sorry if I hear the ambulance. I got 6 months till my baby gets here. I have, you know, time until my baby get here to do what I need to do for me to make sure that I can provide for my child. You know, never feel like you're stuck. The world, life, limitless. You have options. Never feel like you don't have options. You always have options to leave that man, to move out your mama house, to get a better job, to go back to school, to figure out a way to make some more money, to do what you got to do for you and your baby. This is the best time to do it, in my opinion. The next point that I have is so near and dear to my heart, because this is where I get a lot of feedback the most, and that's letting go of all guilt, shame, and embarrassment. I hate with a passion the idea that being a single mother or being single and pregnant comes with so much negative connotation, as if you are just an abandoned or neglected woman and the world doesn't want you or your baby and nobody sees you as, you know. That's how I feel about that. I'm not carrying nobody's guilt. I'm not carrying nobody's shame. I'm not carrying nobody's embarrassment. Listen to me and hear me very clearly. If a man decides to walk away from a pregnant woman and his unborn child, why should I have to carry the guilt, shame, or embarrassment of that? When I choose to handle my responsibilities and have this child and do the best that I can to take care of my child, and he gets to walk away, and now I gotta feel like, well, now I'm a single woman and oh my God, what am I? Says who? Says who? Like, we don't live in a time anymore where men pay all the bills and, you know, men are the head of the household and women just stick around because they got all of these kids that they need him to take care of. We're not in the 60s no more. We are very well capable women of going out there, getting it on our own, taking care of these babies like we've been doing since we've been doing it. You know what I'm saying? So let go. Let go of the guilt and shame and embarrassment that he tries to project and put off on you because he doesn't want to deal with his responsibilities. Let go of the guilt, shame, and embarrassment that other people try to put on you. Live in your truth. Yes, I was doing what I was doing. I thought I loved this man. I thought I was going to be with this man. Or hell, it just happened. But if that's what life has for me, to have a child, why am I going to turn such a beautiful experience, such an unconditional love, such a privilege to be a mother, into guilt? I'm going to reduce it down to guilt, shame, and embarrassment because of what other people think? Listen, live in your truth. I don't care what anybody thinks about me sharing my journey or my story. If they think I'm telling my business, these are things that I've heard. Like, you know, I don't care, because I know how much power is up here and in here, and that my baby has given me to be a strong woman. I don't feel no guilt. I don't feel no shame. And I damn sure don't feel embarrassed to be the carrier of a blessing that not every woman gets to experience. Realize that it's a privilege to become a mother. Realize that everybody ain't able. You know what I'm saying? So right now, wherever you are, take a moment to accept your truth. Take a moment to accept exactly where you are. Take a moment to embrace your baby in your belly and your new life and becoming a mother. Say thank you, you know? And when people try to condemn you or to have a thought or opinion or to question what you got going on, be okay with stopping them right in their tracks. Because this is my life and this is my baby. And as long as I'm not asking you for nothing, or as long as I'm not, you know, hurting myself or putting myself in an endangered situation, what's it to you? What's it to you? Because I can guarantee you got some guilt, and you got some shame, and you got some embarrassment, whether you done been there before, or you're going down the path, or you're headed there soon. So why do I have to take on anybody's, my mom, my baby daddy, my sister, my brother, anybody else's? Luckily, I'm so grateful that I don't necessarily have to deal with that, because I'm established on who I am. But, you know, for those women who are lost in the moment of, I am happy, you know, to be pregnant. It's supposed to be an exciting experience, but not everybody is happy for me. Middle fingers up, put them to the sky, wave them in their face, and tell them bye. Period. I hope you got something out of that. Okay, now let's go on to, I may be jumping around. I didn't put this in any order, but I definitely just want to put it in just perspective on the things that will randomly come to my mind in the middle of the night sometimes. The next part I wanted to talk about was seek his respect, not his attention. Now we're about to go into baby daddy. No matter what kind of baby daddy you have, as a woman, I would say 80%, if not more, of women seeks a man attention. And I mean, by attention, I mean they want him to call, they want him to text, they want to know where he at, what he doing, check in, what's going on, what's da 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 da. But if you're single, he doesn't owe you that. If y'all are not in a relationship, he doesn't owe you that. So stop seeking his attention and start seeking his respect. What's important? Where are your boundaries? Where's your emotional and mental health? That is what he needs to respect and appreciate from any woman, especially the woman that is going to become the mother of his children. You got all of these baby mamas that get such a negative stereotype because they go crazy and they feel like they're entitled. Now granted, sometimes you got to go a little crazy. Sometimes you got to act a plum dog fool. But make sure that it's about your respect and not about attention. You're going to respect me as the mother of your child, or I'm not going to deal with you at all. And that's all Mary and the Little Lambs, okay? Because if you begin to chase him and need him and run after him, guess what he's going to do? He's going to run and run and run and run, because he knows that you will always be there needing him, seeking his attention. But if you say, you know what? This is the kind of mother that I'm going to be. You get to decide the kind of father you want to be. If you decide to show up, you show up. If you decide not to show up, you don't have no say. You can't come in and out and do all of that as you please. I'm setting boundaries. This is what I need from you. This is what I need you to do while I'm pregnant, through this pregnancy. I'm not asking you to be my man. Make it very clear, make it very plain on what you want and what you're looking for. I'm not asking you to be my man. I'm asking you to be my father's child. And she needs to know you, even he or she needs to know you in the womb. You know, so if that just means we go out once a week to dinner just to have a update conversation on doctor's visits and appointments and what the baby's doing, because you do want to include him in the process, because it's so easy for men to feel detached from the process and from the pregnancy. So always, you know, you always want to include him as much as he wants to be included, but never make it about emotions and, you know, getting his attention and what he's doing in his life and his work, because that's just going to run him off. So be very decisive about your boundaries, creating your boundaries, you know. And if you slip into sleeping with him when he wants to, because you seeking his attention, and then now you emotionally confused because you opening your legs and your heart to a man who is closed off, that's on you, sis. That might be a hard truth, but that's on you. Stop blaming men for the things that you allow. Now that's real. That's real, because you have a part in this pregnancy too. You have a part in laying down and allowing him to do XYZ as well. Now a man has control up until the point until you conceive and you're pregnant. Then you have control. So he is equally responsible for where y'all are, but you have to take ownership for your part too. So if you've been a fool, hey, chalk it up. Take your L, whatever it may be, whatever you want to call it. But take responsibility and accountability for your part in this pregnancy too, and stop blaming him for everything, because it's not all his fault. Even if he decides to change his mind or, you know, go through whatever emotional roller coaster that he's going through as well. And I kind of touched on that last time, but we all have a journey, and you cannot change anybody's journey. So if it's a part of your journey to be a single mom, and it's a part of his journey to be a deadbeat dad, y'all both got something to learn. And it may take the next year, 2, 4, 5, 10 years to figure out what that is. But until you take accountability and responsibility for your part, you'll never learn it. So be wise in who you are, and be decisive, and be accountable and responsible for your part. And don't put it on nobody else, because it's on you. You were there having a good time, so now you got to be there when the time's not so good. Okay. My next part, to set the reason why I speak on having weekly dinners or monthly dinners or lunches or whatever the case may be, is so that you guys can set healthy co-parenting boundaries and expectations. I don't foresee waiting till the baby gets here to try to decide on how we're going to handle, you know, the day-to-day dealings with the baby. I feel like that's something that should always be talked about, and building that co-parenting relationship should be talked about before the baby gets here. But you're not going to be able to get him to dinner or her to dinner or to lunch or to coffee or to Smoothie King if it's going to be emotionally draining about your relationship of why it didn't work out and do you still love me and want to be with me. You're not going to get nowhere, because once either party's mind is made up, it's made up. So that's not what the conversation needs to be about. The conversation needs to be about doctor's appointments, what's going on with the baby, what's going on with your body, sharing that, you know, mental health with him, so you don't feel like you're doing it by yourself. That's the only thing. Is I don't feel like the woman should feel like she is carrying the baby, feeling the kicks, the nausea, the, you know, everything that's going on with her body and her mindset. Like, he should be there in some sort of way. I guess that's the goal. That was the goal for me. To one, have a connection with the baby as well, so he's not so detached from the process, and two, to just be a support system, because that's what co-parenting is. It's a support system for each other, and that starts before the baby gets here. So when you do have these conversations with him, it should be about, I'm not trying to put my bills and my burdens on you. I am trying to build a healthy co-parenting relationship with you, so we can be a healthy support system for each other. That is the goal. Co-host want to make an appearance. All right, guys, and so my next point is to stand on your principles. Once you do decide what kind of mother you want to be, you decide your boundaries, you decide what type of co-parenting relationship that you guys are going to have, the respect level that goes both ways. You want to stand on your boundaries, and you want to stand on your principles and not waver. Look, if we decided that we're not going to be in a relationship, and you're going to contribute XYZ to this process, and I'm going to keep you included on XYZ of this process, let that be what it is. Because going back and forth is only going to confuse the situation. If we're not going to be in a relationship, cool. If we're going to be in a relationship, fine. But right now we're talking about being single and pregnant. So you're not going to be in a relationship. He may be in a relationship with somebody else or dating other people, whatever the case may be. So just have an understanding that we're here, okay? What we have is our understanding. We don't need nobody else's opinion, whether it's his mom or your mom or whoever he's dating or whoever you're dating. that has nothing to do with what we have said or how we have said we're going to co-parent and be healthy parents for our children. So make sure that when situations arise, and even when you're so emotionally involved and invested in, he hurt my feelings or she hurt my feelings, you shouldn't have said this or shouldn't, give it some time. Give it some time and then come back to it. Come back to it, come back to yourself, come back to your principles, come back to your why, come back to your baby. And then move from there. Move from that space of the love for your child versus moving from a space of selfishness and aggressiveness and trying to control the situation. Stand on your principles. I hope that makes sense. Now we're going to get into the little bit of the darker side of being pregnant, single and pregnant. And that includes considering abortion. Is abortion right for you? I can't say whether abortion is right or wrong. All I can say, in my opinion, on that is be responsible and don't use abortion as, social media is such an advocate for the abortion. I don't know if they just be talking noise in the comments or what, but abortion is not the solution to irresponsibility. Abortion is not the solution to two adults deciding to not be together. It's touchy. Listen, I've sat with friends through abortions. I have family members that have had abortions. I'm not judging, but if you know that you are not in a financial place, a mental space, an emotional space, or in a relationship with a man that is no good, you should not. Hello, that should be a given. You should not be having sex with him unprotected and allowing him to bust inside you. I'ma just be clear. So if you doing that and then you decide to put yourself through an abortion while he gets to just walk away scot-free, that's on you. That's your business. But sis, protect yourself better than that. Love yourself more than that. Than to be willing to so easily put yourself through the process of putting your body through something like that. Because it's not easy. Yeah, okay, it's 2-3 days, take a couple pills, we'll get it sucked out or whatever the case may be. But the long-term trauma, everybody's different, but protect yourself, love yourself, and be more responsible than that. And then depression, the dark days, the days when it's not easy, the days when it's an emotional roller coaster and you're on the downside of, I'm doing this by myself. This is really where I am. It hurts. You do feel some guilt, some shame, some embarrassment. Remember who you are. Remember why you're doing what you're doing. Think about your baby. Think about the positive. It's okay to sit in it for a couple days, I would say, or the time that you need. But always come back to yourself. Always remember the woman that you decided to be in the beginning. Remember the decision that you made for yourself in the beginning. Remember why you chose. I remember saying to my baby daddy, why can't I have the experience of having a child that loves me unconditionally, that I can look at and know that this person will always be here for me. This person will always be here with me. This is something that, and if nothing else in this world is more truer or more pure, I'm not going to let nobody rob me of that. I want to experience that. So when I do have my down days or my, weeks or months, that is taking me to read. My bad, guys, my camera died. But the time that it has taken me to reprogram my mind and readjust and remember my why. Remember just the type of woman that I want to be. When you have somebody in your life who, whether you knew if you could trust or not, you thought that it was going to be something or not, and then it turns out to be, a messed up situation. you have choices to either allow that to change you in a negative or a positive way, you know. So if you have, you know, a baby daddy who is probably talking negative to you, talking down to you, don't want the baby, don't want nothing to do with you, saying all of this mean and hurtful things, when you're in that situation, you know, where it's not all good, all gravy, it takes a mental toll. It definitely makes you do a self-check and a self-evaluation or a reflection on yourself, like, am I this person? What did I do to deserve this? Why am I in this situation? Why do I have to deal with somebody like that? And no matter what your situation, why did he leave me? Why did he lie to me? Why did I think that it would be something more than what it is? Or you know, why did I play myself? Why did all the thoughts that are going through your head are normal, but you also have a decision to make once you process all of that. Okay, now what? Now what? Now what I'm gonna do next? Now what kind of woman do I want to be? Did I never allow that to happen to me again? And you may have to spend, and this doesn't matter if it's death, a baby, going to jail, losing somebody, it don't matter what it is. You always have to go through the process and go through the motions of, okay, this is what happened, this is where I'm at, this is where I want to be, what can I do to get to a space, and what path do I want to go down? So here's what I mean by that. When me and my child's father, like, when it got bad, and Lord knows I wanted to say some mean and hurtful things to him. I wanted to, you know, I wanted to go there, but it was so far from my character to go there that I knew that if I went there, it would change me as a person. And I didn't want that, because nobody is worth me losing myself and going that far from myself to prove a point. So you know what I did? The first thing I did was I wrote it down in my phone, everything that I could possibly want to say. And I wrote it in my notes, and I mean, it was really bad. It was really bad, really mean, really hurtful. And I wanted to send it, but I knew that I never would. And then once I got it out, and I read it, and I reread it, and I edited it, I was like, I would never send that, because what is saying these things or doing these things and sharing this type of hurt and nastiness and negativity gonna do? It ain't gonna make the situation better. It ain't gonna, you know, make me a better person. It's not gonna make me feel good, you know? So just getting it out allowed me to release it. And then I still took time before I spoke to him again. And then when I finally did, it was in a whole different light. I had time to really go through my emotional roller coaster and then be a better woman. I chose positivity. I chose, okay, how can, as a woman, we're already naturally nurturers. So how can I nurture this situation for my child? And really, it's all about my child. Because sometimes you probably deal with a man that you be like, I would never deal with your ass if we wasn't in this situation. But, you know, it was worth it for me to strengthen that weakness in our relationship, in my personal relationship, and in my relationship with my child's father. It was worth it to me to see what kind of woman I could become if I chose strength and vulnerability in my child and positivity and growth over negativity and disgust and anger and bitterness and nastiness. And that's just not me. That's just not me. That's just not who I am. That's not something that I want my child to experience. I moved in love. And I think that's so essential, is to, especially while you're pregnant, is to move in love for your baby. And, you know, there's things I probably positive things I said that I thought I didn't know that I was even capable of saying, because I chose the love of my child and knowing that that's her father over my own personal emotions and anger and bitterness. And it paid off. Honestly, it paid off, because sometimes people are so used to people being a certain type of way that you shock them when you're not that way. And it allows them to grow as well. It's heavy. That is a heavy burden to carry, to try to be mature and responsible for you and somebody else, especially somebody else that's fighting you back, you know. But once you get past that hurdle, it's a lot easier, you know, and you both grow. And that's not gonna be the last, you know. Y'all got the rest of y'all lives to deal with the child together, so it might not be the last, but I feel like the more important thing is the woman that I became once I made the decision to not be a bitter baby mama. You know what I'm saying? To enjoy my pregnancy and to do the best that I can to bring the man, the father of my child, on a different type of journey that maybe he didn't know exist. You know, he didn't think that a person was capable of. So I think that's why these videos are so, that's why these videos are so important to me to share, because you get to see things from a different perspective. I never knew or thought of that, you know, this perspective exists before I got pregnant. I got placed in it, and I was dealing with a man who had different thoughts and opinions of mine, that a walk of life, a journey of mine that I actually have to deal with. I'm used to, you know. Sorry guys, my camera died, and I wanted to finish this video so I could go on about my day, so we're a little more up close and personal. But I definitely wanted to just say, you know, no matter what type of woman you are, like I was saying, I'm used to being able to, you know, put a dude on ice and go on about my life, but having to actually deal with someone where it matters and our relationship matters has caused me to think in a different way. There was one last thing that I had in my notes that I wanted to share with you guys, and that is to be okay with your story. No matter how you conceived, no matter who he decided to be, no matter what has happened along your journey, no matter where you are in your journey, be okay with your story, because I feel like that is where the guilt and the shame and the embarrassment comes from, is that, you know, you don't want to talk about how you got pregnant, or you don't want to talk about how you met this man, or you don't want to talk about the things that he said to you, or the things that you have to deal with. And I think once you accept that this is your story, this is your life, this is your journey, then who can say anything to you? Who can make you feel anything if you're okay, if you're already okay with it? No one on this earth can make you feel a goddamn thing without your permission. I don't care who it is. They have to have your permission to make you feel guilty, embarrassed, or ashamed. If you say, you know what, this is my truth, this is my story, this is my baby, this is my journey, and I'm going to enjoy every single second of it, who are you to tell me otherwise? Who are you to change that? Do what you got to do so that you can feel the way that you need to feel. But don't allow no one to rob you of your experience of your baby, okay? Be okay with it. I don't care. I don't need nobody to defend me. I don't need nobody to take up for me. I don't need nobody's opinion. I don't need nobody's thoughts. Baby, if I got to go out there and get it on my own, that's exactly what I'll do. So nonetheless, if you found yourself in this situation, and you got this far in the video, please let me know your thoughts on things that I've said, whether they have helped you with your journey. I love hearing the feedback and you guys sharing with me where you are, because of course, being a mother and becoming a mother takes a village, right? It takes a village, and I'm here for you guys. And I definitely read all the messages, all the comments. And I'm grateful that my growth is able to help you guys grow as well. Help you, my baby mothers, grow as well. So Miss Parker will be here within the next 2 weeks. I am 38 weeks as of today. So I have 2 more weeks left. My due date is May 9th. And, you know, I'm so blessed to say that Parker has everything that she needs. I'm also posting a video. I've already recorded it. I think I'll post it after this video of my nursery. Like, you know, I live in a 1-bedroom apartment now. So just how I've accommodated my baby girl and my apartment, things that I've bought and how I have her stuff set up. So if you're interested in that video, please like this video. This is how I know that you guys are watching and paying attention and, you know, are liking the content. I'm so happy to be able to speak on something and share my journey with you guys. So like I said, it's always good to get your feedback. It makes it all worth it. Like every comment, every message makes it all worth it. So with that being said, guys, make sure you are subscribed to my channel if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up. Thank you guys so much for watching, my big boss babies. And I'll see you in the next video.